Hello, hello.
Hey, doing Jaime.
Hi, Rafael. We are live now. Nice to
Yeah.
see you with the live button red.
Oh, yeah, it's cool, right? Thanks for the
Welcome.
invitation from you, from Makeda, from Drums Radio. It's a pleasure to
Yeah,
be here, having this
it's an honor
conversation.
for us. Yes, yes, an
Now
honor.
that the album is out,
Sorry?
now that the album is out,
Yes, no, but she's checking that everything is going well. We have the drums radio manager by our side,
cool.
giving us good energy and support. So I'm Jaime del Valle, representing Makeda Cultura and Drums Radio. We have the honor to host Rafael Moraes from Brazil, Yoruba Records, and in his kind of birth, because the album just came out. His first album came out on Friday, this Friday. So it's kind of the new baby came to light. How are you with this, and how are you in general? So
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks again for this opportunity, for you, for Makeda, Drums
mm,
Radio. Yeah, it's like I'm happy, man. Like, have like, what can I say? It's been working in this project for a long time. Changed a
mm,
lot these years from like when I started was more about makes an album, uh, and then after I started to think like a bigger plan, about the music and what I want from this album, what this was supposed to represent, is supposed to represent, and yeah, man, I'm happy. I have a lot of good friends on the album that work in the album with me. I'm really happy and proud with all them. Like
yeah,
friends and amazing artists as well. It's not some like I'm just picking like names because I want them because I think they are famous or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying because it's all about it's like a family thing. I know all of them besides Jess that I don't know in person, but all the other people I hang out together, and I know, all these guys and girls because I have Najir as well.
mm,
And man, I'm happy and really happy
yes,
about really happy about this all this support and feedback from people that is out of this small family Afro deep soulful,
yes,
like name like Vince Watson, that's more techy and have like all this different range of sounds, saying that he loved this, and like Laurent Garnier saying that
yeah,
it's simply beautiful. It's like when I start to listen to music, electronic music, he for sure was one of the big names
of course,
to check, even because for me it's not about how big he is, how big is his name, because Laurent is someone that knows music. He's not
mm,
just about one kind of music. Laurent is like he knows jazz, soul, Afro rock, Latin, whatever.
yeah,
So it's good to have like this feedback from people because that was the main idea about the album is like make something that is music, not
yeah,
tracks.
yeah,
When I start, I want to do something for DJs. I was like, I want to make like some more housey. It's not that it's not housey, it is, but I mean like the thing was like make something that is like you can listen this like my son can show for his son if he has a son from now on, and show for my grandson like, oh, that was grandpa music, and my grandson can listen, oh, I like it and sounds fresh. So I'm happy
yeah.
about this. Most of all, I'm happy about this, that music get at the point that I was expecting it gets.
Yeah, it's very special because for me it feels like an history. Each track tells something, um, but the whole album it carries some kind of musical aesthetic and message. So Rafael Moraes is a DJ, of course, he's a producer, but he's also a percussionist, and it's very, for me, it's very rich to hear how the percussion communicate with each other in all the songs, like the minor percussion, but the congas and the it's a very refined communication in the groove. So it's a melodic album, very
That's
organic.
how I've been paying my bills since I'm 15. I learned how to do this. And
No,
you have
but
to understand that I live in Brazil, right?
yes,
So everyone's like, if you go to the music industry, we play in bands, man, everybody has like the professional percussionists, they're really good, you know. Well, they're world famous. All the big bands around the globe want Brazilian percussionists or African, so
yes,
and Latin as well, you know. But I mean, like in Brazil, so I had to learn it, and I had the chance to learn with a lot of the good ones. And then I'm happy that people get it, because I think it's like always when I go to do music, it's like everything's like this line, like I put the percussion here, then breathe a little bit down, then I think about the bass line. Everything works, even when I'm doing like the conception about the chords and bass. Everything has this language of rhythm, you know. It's
yeah,
kind of like it's kind of like Cuban music. If you think about
yeah,
how Cuban music is, the piano and the bass and all the percussion set, everything works like it's like a big rhythm band, you know.
yeah. But it's very harmonic. It's like a very rhythmic and very harmonic way of percussion. So it feels very. Is I personally love it, and I go super. So
Man,
this
thank
music goes very easy into my body, and I go very easy into this music. So thanks a lot for sending me. I highly recommend. I love all the Yoruba catalog, but I highly recommend this music, and I think has something to get in touch with yourself in a very beautiful way, to dance in a beautiful way. We have obeos in the album with a very special message in a song called Earth. It's a tribute to Mother Earth. We have Jess Gannon with an amazing piano communication. We have Nadira Sakor. It's a beautiful song. We have this harmonica and saxophone from Brazil. I forgot the names right now.
Vitor Lopes playing harmonica and Raul Mascarenhas on the saxophone. Kept away.
Capital A in one shot, which was in the single. That was the single of the album. Is also like kind of and Reconnection is the only song you didn't have a collaboration with any musician, and it gives the name of the album. Why this name? Why this name right now?
Because it's been a reconnection since I started. A lot of things in my life changed, and yeah, just been like a reconnection. There's songs there that I started like probably 8 years ago, something like this.
Yes.
Uh, because like this like is a selection of songs that I was thinking about the sounds that could represent my work on Yoruba, you know, what I want
Yes.
that my work on your solo work in Yoruba sounds, because like I have my other projects called Nomumbah with Valle, Reiss and Torquato. We had like 2 albums on Yoruba. We have a lot of remixes and things like this. And this is kind of more like a deep Afrotech sound, you know, because that's like the reference from the three of us, you know. So Ale is like this dub master, you know, like crazy about sounds and really who know how to do this. Andre is like the musician, it's like the talent. and all this harmonies and melodies, everything. And I bring more the rhythm and this Afro Latin thing, you know. So it's a mix of the three of us. When I was thinking about the album, I was thinking, okay, you have like a lot of releases in like great label that I had the opportunity to work with, going to different sounds. Like Get Physical has one sound, Rebirth has another one. Um,
Defected, More
More
Black.
Black, for example, you know, there's a lot of. Don't want to talk about all the labels, but the thing was, Yoruba is my house, you know. So
Yes.
I want to do something because I already had like I already had my first EP there that actually was with Capital A. Was my first EP. It's called The Modern Traditions, and Andrea was working with me as well at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and 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 then I released like remixes and things like and other things on the label. But I was when I started to think about the concept of the album, for me was like I was thinking about something that represents what house music can sound for me. You know? And I have to
Mm.
be honest, I'm really eclectic about house music. I'm not this kind like I just listen this, I just listen that. Oh, it's not soulful, I don't go. Oh, it's not my crew, listen this, man. Sometimes I just want to listen to more techy, dark music. Sometimes I just want to listen to the more beautiful, soulful piano track, you know. That's why I want to go to all different. When I go to festivals, I will go every time I go to different stages, trying to listen, understand what kind of sound that DJ is playing and what he can give me. Because at the end of the day, it's music. For me, music is like food, you know, and just getting the references and eating, digesting, and getting what I want. Then I can absorb that and do the music that I want, or just listen to it and learn with the DJs and producers, you know.
Yeah, but this point brings or could brings us to your history, like how you came to this album, because of course you are a Brazilian person, so the musical culture in Brazil is huge. But you connected with house in an early age, also with funk, soul, jazz. So and this is very clear together in the album. But just tell us a little bit how you came into house music. How was you beginning as a DJ? How you are coming to this point of this mature album? Because for me, it feels like a strong identity, a musical identity and energy. So the energy in
Thank
the
you.
whole album is very relate. Every song is very relate to each other in my ears. So how you came with all this richness in your personal history, and how was the journey, and this bringing together in a very
Well, like I grow up in a place that actually is this place. I'm back
mm,
after years. That's where I grew up with my parents.
ah
Um, yeah. Now I just live by myself, but that was the place I grew up, right? So,
wow.
man, I have like always had music and like records and books are like food here, you know. Since I'm a kid, I had this they always bring records and books and always like it's an important part of my lifestyle and my the way they raised me, you know. So I started work like with 15 years, started to work in record shops and go out as well because I work with this guy, Jaime, that used to run a record shop, a daily radio show, and he was like a kind of a big name on the reggae scene, you know. And that time, early 90s, yeah, mid 90s, uh, reggae was huge here in Brazil. All the bands were coming and a lot of nights. So I started to play with him and go to the record shop, to the radio station, and to the venues really early, you know. I was like 15, 16 years. mailing opening the night and learning about all this.
Mm-hmm.
So I start with this, and then like I start to go to the nightlife. I already like the nightlife. I used to go to these matinees, and sometimes I used to go to nightclubs. They allow me to go. I don't know how. Still, I don't
At
know
a very
what happened.
early age, like around 15 years old or something like this, right?
Yeah, 15, 16. Yeah.
And your
And
mother wasn't angry about that, right?
no, actually not, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
here they're really supportive, you know. Like we had a deal, and the deal is you have your school, you have your things, you want to work with music, you want to go out. Sometimes I have like this, my boss has this gig on Wednesday, and we come back like 3, 4 in the morning, 7 in the morning, I was on my way to the school. It's
Yeah.
like it's
You
so
got your
sweet, you know, like they said,
responsibility.
okay. Of
Yeah,
course, they take care of me. It's not that they don't care. But the thing is
yeah,
like, okay, that's what we want to do. We're going to help, but you have some rules. And the rules are like, you have to be good, do good in the school. That actually I don't, but whatever. That's all about the nightlife because I was kind of lazy, but happens. Not
yeah.
that I
But
wasn't
you,
good at school. I was good in the things that I love, like history, Portuguese, like and you know, like I wasn't like the guy crazy about sciences and you know, I like the human thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I see. I see. Yes, yes. And so your family supported that. You got this culture from Jaime, the reggae, but in his shop was a lot of funk, soul, jazz
Yeah,
stuff. You had a lot of records at home, I guess, I suppose, like rock and all this
yeah, everything, everything,
Brazilian music, of course,
a
and
lot.
and and of course, with all these records, all these vinyl times, it wasn't CDs and everything. You could like play around like reggae, but everything else. So you start developing as DJ, right?
Yeah. So working there, working the shop, and I started to have the opportunity to play in a few particular like house parties, and
Mm,
as well like playing reggae in some festivals where Jai was playing. So I started to have a name on the scene here,
yeah,
and I started to play music, and then I have some friends that are opening what is today one of the biggest companies, sound companies here in Brazil. So we started doing like parties, like weddings, birthdays, whatever. You know, we used to bring all the equipment, set all up, and play. Back in the
yeah.
days, now it's a big company. They have like people and like this. I can't carry the speakers anymore. They're so big. No, but back in the day it was okay. And then we started to grow, and I start well. I always to the went out like for clubs and to check DJs,
To
and then I
absorb all the
started
knowledge, right? And
yeah,
sorry, sorry.
and then I started to learn it, and I got to get like I used to go to underground clubs here, but wasn't my thing, you know. But then I started to we used to do the sound for a club, and there was this guy called Santiago that time was like one of the best DJs playing all every kind of music, but playing the good electronic music. And then I start to learn all the technique, the turntable technique to mix, because that time there was no CDs, it's just turntables, right?
Of
I look
course.
young, but I'm 47. So yeah, I was 15, no, I was like 18, 19, and it's almost 30 years back.
Mm.
So uh, I started to learn with him and go to the club and learn how to work with the crowd, how everything was, how is how to be a DJ, a proper DJ,
Yeah,
you know, like in a club. It was a big club, and then he. I start to listen like every time I ask him about some music that he was playing, it's always like the more musical things. And then he started to sell me because he was playing more harder, you know. So he started to sell me records. I still have all here. I got a lot of things from Strictly Rhythm, all the early Subliminal, that was what the kind of house that people used to listen in Brazil.
The New York
But
house, right?
the
The
scene in
New York.
Brazil always been more techy, always. Like
Yeah,
techno is big here.
yeah,
And but you have clubs that play house and have some big name, house DJs as well. But the thing is like all the big clubs back in the days were all about techno. And after the raves with trance, house was kind of more the kind of house music that I like. I have to be honest, I'm the one that helped to develop this scene here because house music was more in like fancy clubs. Besides one or other part, like think about Felipe Venancio that did like a great job at disco. That he was married with this girl that worked with fashion, so they have like this night that give all this essence, like all different crowd, fashion people, you know, everything the same place because that represents like that special night. But the club wasn't an underground club. That's what I'm trying to say. So house was, it took some time to house goes with the sound that we want in the venue that you want.
yeah.
And
Big
for sure, I
enough,
have my
no?
party on Sunday session that helped to develop. A lot of DJs help it, but I'm just saying, like, I know that I helped to do this because that's what happened. I had to travel because there is no place here to listen to my music.
Yeah,
And I was working with this company and making money. So I started to go to New York in '99 to buy records because the music didn't get here.
yeah,
And I started to go to all the famous record shops like Dance Tracks, Vinyl Mania, Vinyl Rama. That time was the satellite. Yeah, there was a lot
yes.
of records.
And of course, you could visit the DJs, get to know the scene there in New York, and really absorb all this culture directly, no?
Yeah, because that was different, right? Like the record shops were the place where everyone get in touch.
Yeah,
That time, like you go to the record shop, you have the flyers. There's no cell phone, no camera, no
of
text
course.
me, no Facebook posting. It's like you have to go to the record shop and see the flyers from the week that all the clubs and DJs put there. So people that's like house oriented go there, check the music, see. That's what I used to do. I go there on Monday, I grab all the flyers, put that's what my schedule during the week, and and then I spend the day meeting people, and then start to have some friends that are always in the same record shops, and oh, we're gonna have a beer, and then after we're gonna see this. So like when I met the first time I saw Jelly Bean Benitez playing was like this tiny club in New York. He used to
Yeah,
do this party called and nothing but a house party. He was playing with Frank Feliciano. Everybody
yeah,
was there. Everybody was there. If you look like Tony Humphries and I don't know, like Louis Vega, just saying putting name, but that was the vibe. All the New York DJs were there cheering, listening to the music, and then yeah, of course, you do this one, two, three times, then you meet someone, start to get like develop a friendship, and then two or three times after go back to New York, I was already in contact with a lot of people. And besides that time I had the opportunity to have like this amazing weekly schedule in New York, like end of the yeah, end of the '90s, starts of 2000. New York's like on Wednesday night, you have the Round Trends playing Shine Club. That was the Giant Stack weekly session. On Wednesday as well, they used to run the Ritual, what's the name? The Mass at Work party,
dance
Dance
ritual.
Ritual,
Yeah,
Dance Ritual that sometimes happened at Vinyl Club that used to be Shelter, but was the house of Body and Soul on Sundays, but on Fridays as well was Danny Tenalia's in famous party, you know, and
Wow.
then you have shelter at Saturdays. So it's like,
Wow.
man, you know, like all the big DJs from New York were playing. So you have like a huge schedule, and you start to meet people and go have smaller parties where it's like the more local scene, like with some amazing DJs as well, and the dancers, and you have as well the, what's the name, funk box, that was about the dancers in New York. So there's a lot going on there. So I started being in contact, and the first time I went to Biden Soul, that thing changed my life, because that was the day that I learned that electronic music doesn't have to be just beats, you know.
Yeah.
Was my experience that when I get there and start to listen to what those three DJs were playing and how the crowd was behaving, for me was like, okay, that's what I want to do, because here is music for the dance floor. It's Latin, it's Afro, it's techie, it's everything, and it's house. And then from that day, I start to look for to look for what I want. And then after I start Nomumbah, then after I get in contact with Oshunlade and Yoruba Records, it was kind of like just after that. But that day for me was like the first day I went to the Body and Soul, my mind just blew away. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I never saw a party like this, mixing all this kind of music and being so uh, original, you know. For me, it
Yeah.
was like, I'm talking because I'm saying, because here in Brazil, like you go to a club, it's techno, or it's techie house, or it's gay, or it's straight. You have a few parties that was a mix. Actually, that's the one that I like to go, but it's like 2 or 3 nights, if so, you know.
Yeah, but Body and Soul is just the disco, the soulful, the good techie side, the Afro, the Latin. They could be playing like Bob Marley in the middle of the night, like Clausel did a lot. So it's a very
Yeah, I
magical
saw that.
thing.
That was actually the first night he played Bob Marley. He played the original Steve Wonder, and he played Lynn Collins' Think. That's why I was like, whoa, okay,
Yeah,
so you can do everything this in a club. Because for me, do this in a house party or like whatever is okay. But for me, club was like always for me like this, because in Brazil, that
yeah,
was this thing like, oh, you have to play this. If you don't do, you're not pure,
yeah.
you know.
But in the
And then
end,
I
what
went there
you
and said, okay, this is pure, and they are playing everything. Like from now on, don't come with this bullshit about have to play this and have to be like that, because if you don't do, you don't represent the music. Sorry.
yeah,
And
yeah. But
but it's
in the end of the day, the Sunday sessions you are doing since 15 years, right? Is this kind of concept which is what all about good music, and even Francois came to play from Body and Soul, right? One time, and meeting this essence in Brazil. So you created an open-minded.
yeah, we did this, we started Sunday sessions years ago. It was like
Mm,
my idea with Tim Adams, that is a Canadian friend that lives here, work with events and booking international talents. But he DJs as well, like all this jazzy, new jazz. And then we, since the beginning, we invited like two friends that we really respect, and they are like, they run together with us. That is Milton Schuker. There's like a great talent in Brazil. This guy that grew up inside of the DJ booths uh, back in the days. You know, this guy is like, when he was a teenager, he was there learning with the DJs on the discos, everything. And Roger, that is Roger Wicks, that is another amazing DJ. He's from UK, but he lives in Brazil for a long time. So we get all these people with different perspectives, and we started this in a club that is called, used to be called Bar 13, that before was an underground club bar, that was really famous. They closed and then they opened this place with a door that opens to the outdoor. So we start this 4 o'clock playing jazz, and then about 6 when the sun goes down, we close this door and become a dance floor. And it works. Like people start to really love it, and we start to play this music that we love. That, of course, a lot of big influence from body and soul. And that time, about that lazy dog party that used to run in London. That's kind of the small brother from Body and Soul.
Yeah,
it was
in
Ben
London.
Watts and what's the name of the other DJ? Well, I forgot, but anyway, I went there once in London, and it was like a really cool vibe. You know, that was this intimate feeling, people cheering, Sunday vibe, good music, housey. The Lazy Dog was more housey, not that it doesn't have like this big mix as Body and Soul, but that was the idea. Place on Sunday because we're DJs, we play Friday and Saturday. So Sunday we can go drink, party with the friends, and enjoy the vibe. And we start to teach to the crowd this music because nobody has the access to this music beside of us that were learning and traveling and getting this music
and
going
bringing this music from New York and London to Brazil. So you are like kind of educating the crowd to this kind of culture, right? Yeah, which is
man.
really
And we had
cool.
like, and we did a lot of people there went, like when they came to Brazil, we always invite them saying it's a small party, 100, 150 people. Sometimes a little bit more depending of the talent or the day, but the average number is like 120, 150, you know. Man, we had like Timmy Redford, we had Benji B, we had
wow.
Barbara Tucker went there for a few drinks, Giles Peterson as well.
450 people. This is
And Oshunlade, of course.
Of course, yes.
Francois now. We had, man, there are so much names. Arup Roy. I think Jojo Flores played as well.
Arup Roy is in your album. Arup Roy is in your album. I forget to name him. Before.
Arup and Laércio. Arup and Laércio play a song as well.
Yeah. And another thing, because
this song actually is funny because we're hanging together. Arup was in Brazil for a few times, and Laércio, the guy that plays, he's like a huge talent in Brazil. He plays live with his flute and all the music that he produced, like a good name to check. And we're hanging like together, we start to do music, doing jams, and then we just did this song. And originally the song sound, the original lyric is the opposite of the lyric that's right now. So when I sent it to Oshunlade, he said, man, the music is beautiful, change this lyric, please. And then I wrote Arup because he wasn't in Brazil. Oh, let's change it. And it's like the same melody, just the words are different. Yeah, that was this music, was cool.
And to know and to try to know you and to have a bigger picture of you in terms of a journey. Rafael and me were talking because we make an interview in Spanish. This is the one in English, and it was an adventure. Yeah. It's fun and it's understandable, and I'm trying to talk in English. I hope I'm getting it, but we touch the point, very special point regarding to the ancestral vibe that your music has. Is that you are a percussionist and that you get in touch with all the traditional drummers or the traditions that comes originally from Africa. Like candomblé, santeria, umbanda. So that's a very interesting point that links very well with Yoruba Records identity, of course. So can you explain us like the role and the path, like the DJ part of your life and the percussion part of your life, and how they relate or link to each other in your journey?
Oh yeah, like that's music, right? That's what happened in my life. I never had another job. Music is my job since I was 15.
Yeah.
So I started playing bands and learned like percussion. I was in love with congas. That's a
Mm.
different instrument than what we play on the Afro Brazilian religion rituals, like candomblé and umbanda. It's called atabaque.
Atabaki.
It's really it's like if you look, the shape is similar, but the sound is kind of different. Well, anyway, when I was 15, I started to learn about congas, and I went out to search for Cuban teachers, to learn this conga technique. There's a completely different technique than play a tabaki. And then I used to
Okay.
play in Latin jazz bands here, and playing other bands. And I started as well. I developed my finger as a DJ, and so
Hmm.
that was my work. So it's always working side by side, developing side by side, sometimes playing more in bands, sometimes doing more gigs as a DJ,
Yeah.
and always learning about percussion and all this thing. But then when I was 18, something like this, I started to learn capoeira Angola. That's the original capoeira.
Yeah.
And my capoeira master moved to this apartment, actually, because that back in the days I was living here when I was 18 before I moved, and he lived here for a year and a half. And Plinio, that is this amazing capoeira master, has this group called Angoleiro Sim Senhor. He is
Mm.
an Ogã. Ogã in Brazil is the percussionist of is the person that is allowed to play the atabaque for the orisha in candomblé. You need a development to do this. So his padrinho, we call pai de santo,
So
used to
one.
go to the capoeira, and well, we get in touch, and then I used to go to the candomblé rituals because I want to see them playing that. It wasn't even about the religion, I want to learn about all those rhythms and how three percussionists play together. Like when I see a Latin band playing bongo, congas, and timbale, I want to go to a candomblé because I want to see play hum hum pile. They are the three drums, and then I started going to candomblé uh, to learn about the rhythm. And because for
Mm.
me, like the drum is the thing about the drum is deeper than learn just the technique and be the best
Yes. Yes.
percussionist in your. If you don't go to the ritual, if you don't learn how to play to the sense, maybe you are missing the most important point on the drums. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that someone that never been there and is a great percussionist is doing bad. Please, I'll never say
Yeah.
this. For
Yeah.
me, if I don't go there and don't check how it is, I don't see with my eyes how it is, how you play for an Orisha when he is there, and how the Orisha dance and what's the behavior from all the organs, all the percussionists. It's an experience that you just can have if you are in a ritual like Santeria, like
Yeah.
Ocha, Ifa, all this, the names that you give to or different Afro religion rituals.
Yeah.
Uh,
But definitely
Drums are really.
the energy is different, and it's not difficult to sense it when you play for the orishas or you invite these energies to come in. The way the rhythm is touching your body, as a listener or as a dancer, is very different. Is very different indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started to learn. And then during a long time, I didn't. Well, I started to go to visit, but then just years after, like developing my spirituality in different places, and of course, this thing about this. Afro religion here in Brazil is really big. I mean, you
Yeah,
go to
yeah, yeah,
Bahia, if you think about music in Brazil, all this African tradition is really big because the black community culture in Brazil, beside all these social problems, I'm talking about music.
yeah,
It's really rich. All the big artists in Brazil come from like this the black community. They have all this Afro Brazilian Latin influence on the music. It's obvious. So if you go
yeah,
to Bahia, to talk about orishas here, everybody loves Iemanjá, everybody loves Ogum, everybody loves the, like, it's like something that you listen people saying, February 2nd is a big party in Salvador. That's Bahia's capital. I'm talking
yeah.
about, I don't know how 1,000 people in the streets celebrating Iemanjá.
Wow,
So, yeah, yeah. So, but I just
wow.
get into the religion years
Yeah,
after when I started to go to Umbanda. That's
yeah,
like they're 100% Brazilian African religion, if I can say that, you
yeah,
know. And and then it's like, man, like the spirituality, you don't ask, it just happened.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like
It's in your past,
yes.
and
So I went there, and then the madrinha, I start to know the madrinha, and then I want to play because that's my thing and sing,
yeah,
and then you have to do some things to develop and to be allowed to be there. You cannot just go there. Oh, I want to play because I'm a percussionist from a lifetime. Okay, but here as a ritual, I have to do some things. Not an obligation. I want to do. I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. And then I started to develop this years ago. And today, that's what I do. My spiritual life side is like, that's what I do. It's like I play the atabaques and I chant and I coordinate the group. Yeah, but that's what I do in my life. I play the music. That's what I have to
yeah,
do. It
yeah.
doesn't matter, like material or spiritual. It's like, that's what I
Yeah, it's
do.
this, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are in spirits in a body, So, but anyway, so the atabaque, that to let the people know and to know myself too, what it is. So it's like the one that's playing some rhythms to call the orishas, the entities, or is the director of the percussion orchestra, or is both, or
No,
how?
no. Atabaque is the drum.
Okay,
Atabaque is the drum. It's like a
and
conga. It's
yeah,
similar to a conga. It's a little bit slimmer, and you have three sizes. You have a smaller that's the more high tone. That's
yeah,
called uh, le.
yeah.
The mid one that is called humpi, and the
Okay.
low one, the big one, that is called hum. And the cool thing is like if you listen to Africa, that's why I'm saying there's a lot of difference. If you listen like all the conga thing, if you go to like rumba or to the guys, all the improvisation and all the things that go over the band is the quinto. That's the small one. Is the high tone. In candomblé and umbanda, the one that does it is the lower, is the hum. So the main organ, the guy that coordinates the other percussionists and the chants, and that start to chant, play the hum. So all the things that you do there is, well, it's just to understand, because it's really similar, but there's a lot of difference. So all
Wow.
the the double thing, like when we are rolling and playing all the things, is just on the low, it's not on the high.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so that's called the tabaki, those three drums, hum hum pi le. The person that is allowed to play is not just this, but the person that plays is called ogan.
Organ. And you are organ. Right? Oh,
Yeah,
so with initiated organ, so to say.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing because
And it's a pleasure. I have to be honest. I can I can say right now. I just can say like I feel blessed about being able to do all this music, be connected to. That's why it's called Reconnection. You know, I'm doing right now. I'm in the place that I just feel comfortable about my life. You know, I'm doing the music that I love, the label that's my family. I'm spiritual in my spiritual life. I'm doing what I love, that is chant and play drums.
hmm,
So you know, it's like I'm in a good balance. You know, I'm not saying that life is always easy. Even right now, life isn't
of course,
easy at all for us artists. You know, like I can't
of
do my
course.
job unless I
Yeah.
do this virtually. Actually, I do on Twitch, my radio. I have some invitations from festivals, but it's always online.
Let's
I
talk
hope
about this
this.
a little bit later, that people know how to where to find you. Let's talk about it a little, like your
Yeah,
tweets,
yeah.
times. Let's talk about it in few minutes. But yes, yes, yes. Yeah, but it feels like a very vital point, no? Very very nice point in your life with with this organ. Has grown over the years on you, this traditional, the playing drums, the you, because this is the Reconnection is the first album. So remember we talk about Nomumbah, forgot
Nomumbah.
Nomumbah,
Nomumbah.
Nomumbah.
Bro, you know
So
what means Nomumbah? Nomumbah means nothing. Everybody, people ask me about what's Nomumbah,
oh
but I can talk
okay,
about this story. That's a fun story. I used to play with Ale, that is one of the guys from the band, from the group. That
hmm.
is actually a great DJ, and we play on this club that has like this DJ Mario Fischer. That time was like a big name. Not that he wasn't, but that time was like everybody's put their eyes on him, and we used to play before him in this club. And he said, and we are just starting to produce the first beats, and don't have a name. And then Marinho said that we should start a night with crazy music, that in Portuguese is Noite de Música Maluca. Then we said, hey man, let's do a night called No Mu Ma, Noite de Música Maluca, just the first.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then I said, oh man, we can make some like Brazilian sound, like Jorge Ben and Carlinhos Brown always try to put a percussive sound on the words. So let's do like Nomumbah, Nomumbah, and that's why the name became very big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, yeah. Funny story. So, but the thing is, the first album of Rafael is this one, but he has another two with Nomumbah and a couple
Yeah,
of singles. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah. What else we wanted to touch? It was one special point in the talks we had about how you met Osunlade and through this friend of you and became a Yoruba member naturally because as I remember it was very magic to because I wanna it's very important for me to know the artist, but to know the journeys. These drum things is amazing. I think for the people to know because we can understand better why this special energy is vibrating inside the album. So and
yeah.
why
Well,
this.
when I first met, uh, well, actually, I met the music first, right? When I started to understand all this body and soul thing, I started to go out to go to a record shop looking for some tracks that well, we're talking about a time there was no MP3s, right?
Yeah,
So no digital online radio,
yeah, yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
First, just you have to grab
Dig.
the sound and the lyrics in your mind and go to the record shop and sing to the guy to see if he knows and you can buy the record. So that's how it used to be. No Shazam, nothing.
Yeah, yeah, of
So,
course.
uh, uh, well, the first one was probably Closer I Get, as
Yeah,
many. people probably, because well, I started to go to the so I went to the record shop, I saw the compilation, I listened to that, and I saw Yoruba Soul. Who is Yoruba Soul? And I started to like the sound. Then after I got an EP, I was at Dance Tracks, I was digging the records in New York, and then I got this cover, this guy with this stick in his nose, and then I put in the other side was like Yoruba Records, the deep, and there was like this crazy broken beat with harmonica, and I was like, oh, what is this, man? It's like different from everything. And then I started to buy the Yoruba Records songs, music. I started to get crazy and about this and other artists as well, but like Yoruba was like so different and so jazzy, Afro and bumping, and I said, okay. Then Oshunade came to Brazil for the Red Bull Music Academy. He came for I had to do some classes, I think, and he played in a Monday night with Felipe Venancio. That is this DJ house DJ that I was talking in the beginning of the interview. Was one of was the Brazilian DJ was Felipe, and Oshunade was playing after him. And I went there, and it was a crazy set, and I was just happy because it was like I was seeing this guy playing music, and most of the music that he was playing is the music that I was buying. So I said it was a connection about everything, but we didn't get it. Years after, Tina Adams moved to Brazil. That's my partner on Sunday sessions.
The Canadian guy, right?
Yeah, when he came to Brazil, he was doing this thing like booking talents, and he did this special 3 months event, and he asked me about some names, and he put some names on the table, and I said, oh man, I think this and that. So at the end of the day, he booked Oshunlade, Jazanova, and King Brit. It was 3 months, 3 different DJs. So when Oshunlade came, we were playing, me and Andre, we were playing on the room that you get in. You have like, when you get in this club, you have this first room, and then you go downstairs, you have the main room. So people get there, we are playing, like warming up. And Oshunlade get there, he loved the music. We didn't talk to him, he just went to the DJ, oh, how doing? Nice to meet you, blah, blah. You know, regular thing. So we stopped. He started to play there. We went down to check him. At the end of his gig, we were talking with him, and Tim introduced him to us. I mean, me and Ale and Andre.
Yeah.
And we gave him like a CDR. We were like the first songs Nomumbah was doing. And then, he came to Brazil. He spent like a week after this, just in São Paulo or traveling. I don't remember. So on Saturday, Tim called me saying that Oshunlade wants to meet me if he can go out to have some food and walk around. So we went there. We have food. We have a conversation, doing things. Went to, I think, an exhibition, whatever, buy instruments. Well, the point is he just get to me and said, man, I love this song called Tudo Que Você Podia Ser. That was a song that we did. It's like a version from a classic from Lo Borges, that is this huge Brazilian composer. And he said, I want to sign you guys on the label. And I was like, whoa.
Boom.
Yeah. Just remember that was more than 15 years ago, or probably 18 years ago. We are Brazilians, and like this music has no Brazilian person representing. There was no digital, so we are being like having like a door open for all this industry with one of the labels that get more respect from everyone. So I was like, oh yeah,
powerful,
that's a great chance.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, we became friends. I started to go to the Winter Music Conference every year. That time he used to run like Yoruba thing parties there. So I started to meet all the artists. and became
Amazing.
friends. You know, like it's more than
Yeah,
20 years in contact. It's
naturally.
like family now.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This point in your story was very important, I think, also to share. And what are you now? Because of course, the playing will go back, hopefully soon. But the people can find you in Twitch, like if I'm right, 4 times a week now.
Yeah, I have like this. So in the beginning of the year, I decided, as I saw that this COVID thing is gonna keep going for a while, even in,
But
I can say about
but you
Brazil,
have
right? So I
a
decided to
huge
do.
you have a huge vinyl collection, so you could. So we want this thing to be finished, but he has a huge vinyl collection, so he can go through a long pandemic stuff sharing his collection. Because I saw
Yeah,
like
yeah, that,
yeah, like
yeah. That's the thing. You
sharing.
know,
Yeah.
I started this thing about this radio that is called Gqom Radio Show. Gqom is the name of my studio, and
Okay.
if you read it from the end, how to say backwards is like music, Gqom music.
Music. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's Gqom Worldwide Radio because I can get in touch with people all around the globe, and I start to do things that people were inviting me. So I said, okay, I have like over 5,000 records here. I don't know how many gigs, gigabytes of music on my hard drives. I have the equipment, I have the computer, I have another cell phone with an additional camera, and I start to learn it as all the DJs start to learn about this broadcasting streaming thing, you know.
Yeah, of
So I
course.
decided to do this on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/DJ Rafael Moraes. So I do on Tuesdays this vinyl only show. On Thursdays, I do a show playing jazz, soul, Afro Latin, and a bit of electronica. On Fridays, I do the on Fridays I do the
The more
quintessential
dancing.
that I play mostly fresh music, all the promos I got during the week
Ah,
or music that I buy during the week, just new music,
gotcha.
two
Yeah,
hours playing all this. And on Sundays, I do the Sundays, we are doing the Sunday sessions
cool.
uh, online now because we can't do this live. But
But it's gonna
and every
come.
2 weeks, and the other 2 weeks I do a show called Chez Moi. It's like in my house that I play this blend of different dance music. It's like kind of similar, but it's different. And actually, we're gonna do it today. Today is gonna have we're gonna do a Sunday sessions with two guests from Canada, Sea Life Size and 83 West, doing this afternoon. And yeah, man. And then on Monday I do a show with the same name on a channel called House Nation. So it's like
Yeah,
5 times a week I'm doing this streaming thing.
it's a lot.
That's how it
It's
I'm
a
doing.
lot. Yeah,
Man, but
yeah.
that's what keep my mind
Focus.
alert, you know, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
gigging
yeah, yeah.
records, doing this, being busy, because I live by myself in my place. I'm doing this by my own. At the beginning it was kind of hard. Now I have fun, you know, like I learned to deal with myself 24/7.
Yeah, yeah. That's also interesting. Like the challenge we had in this situation that offers us a huge opportunity to grow, to develop new tools for to deal with ourselves and to develop in life. So
Oh
this
yeah.
album, the Reconnection album, came out uh, in this world situation, which makes it very special because it carries also a tool to music is always a tool to overcome challenges and to raise the vibration. But his album
Yeah, man, I have to
definitely.
say thank you. I can't forget before we finish here, because I know it's going to do an hour. It's just almost in the end. I want to
Yeah,
say thank you to all the artists that are in this album, because it's my name on the cover, but without
yeah,
them, it just couldn't happen. So I want to
yeah.
say thank you to Ovius, to Jess Gannon, to Vitor Lopes, to Raul Mascarenhas, to Capital A, Nadira Shakur, Arup Roy, Laércio. I want to say thank you to Oshunlade for all the guidance and everything, and
Mm,
friendship, and everything that I learned. And well, I can't put in words. I want to say thank
yeah,
you to Ale Reiss, my
mm,
partner in Nomumbah, that did this gift for me after I mixed it all down. He said, "Man, give me. I want to do a pre-mastering mix with just analog gear." To
ah,
CoFlow, that did the mastering, and that asked me to change a little bit one or other track, because he wants to give some modern sounds, and he put all his soul there. I want to say thank
wow.
you to Greg Hercom. There's this big friend that did the design for me, that put all my ideas together and make this beautiful cover. To João Sal, that is this amazing photographer from Brazil, that took the shots for the album as well.
Mm,
I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. To Claudio, that's the designer from Yoruba that put all the things together. I think I named everyone.
the Orishas,
I think
the
that's it.
Orishas.
And
We
thank you
gotta
again
find.
for you guys for the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Jaime, to be in touch with me since then, back then,
Yeah,
and pushing all the album and supporting my music. Thanks a lot. Thanks for Makeda. Thanks
it's an
for Drums
honor.
Radio for this
It's
opportunity.
an honor. Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
guys can buy the records on Yoruba Records Bandcamp, and soon on vinyl on Digger's Factory. And that's
Yeah,
it, man. I hope
because
it's a great weekend, and that I could inspire and explain a little bit about my music for everyone.
yes, yes, yes. Please, please, please make a favor to you and listen to his album. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's 8 tracks, so it's perfect for an LP. So the vinyl like 8 track is the perfect number. And I personally want to thank you because we did this interview in Spanish and now in English for your time. We talk about we have some challenges to figure out, and you was very patient. So I'm sorry, and I thank you. And
It's okay,
then
man. It's live,
yeah,
you know.
it's like yeah, yeah. I I do my best, and I love this connection. I want to thank you also, Drums Radio, and Dams, the manager from Drums Radio, to believe in the vision on Makeda, which is very connected with the organic ancestral sound you do. So let's yeah, thank you is the best way to and to the listeners, that the people who are now there and listening, hello. Lukumi, the album is beautiful. Yes, indeed. Hello, hello.
Yeah, look who's
It's
a big brother. Thanks, Lukumi. Thanks for the love, man.
it,
Thanks for
it's
always support.
yeah. He loves music so deeply, and to all the future listeners, because that will gonna be in YouTube. We will share it in our social media. Instagram is there, Rafael Moraes. My Instagram is there. So, and peace, blessings, and music, and reconnection with the music, with the people, and with life. So,
Yeah.
Ashe,
Thanks a lot,
Rafael.
brother. I
Thanks a
share.
lot,
Thanks
my
a lot.
brother.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks for
Get
your
the music
time.
on Yoruba Records Bandcamp. And thanks for the opportunity again. Thank you.
Yes, yes, and